Hello. Have you got any of this stuff around where you live? Well, we've got some here. It's not as nice as this, but we do have some. Anyway, today is the 22nd of January 2013, and this, lovely people, is Vaper Scene. Yes, indeed, it is Tuesday night and it is Vaper Scene. A very good evening to you all, and I hope you're not suffering too much with the dreaded cold white stuff, of which we had our fair share down here in South Yorkshire, and I'm expecting some overnight. And unfortunately for me, I've got a long drive, the long drive north to Scotland tomorrow, weather permitting, so we shall see what happens there. Not looking forward to that too much, I must say, but I digress. We have got a feature-packed half hour for you again this week, and we're going to start off with a really good Show Us Yours now.
And now it's time for Show Us Yours, sponsored by Flavour Art UK. And this week's winner is Fabio Passaro, and I hope I said that right, Fabio, with his really nice picture entitled MotoGP Ducati, with a couple of GP spheroids as exhausts. So well done, Fabio. Lovely bit of Photoshop in there, and we will organise you your bottle of juice. Show Us Yours, sponsored by Flavour Art UK.
Hey, that is an amazing bit of photoshopping, I must say. Even to get the bit behind the tyre was very well done indeed. So congratulations, Fabio. You are my winner this week. And if you would like to win a bottle of juice, you know what to do. Send us an email to here, vaperscene@vaportrails.tv, and we can see if you get pulled out of the hat to win a bottle of juice courtesy of our friends over at Flavour Art UK. Now, before I go on, I just want to show you this, and there is a vape meet this week. It's on Friday, and it's at the Bay Horse in Doncaster. As it says there, everyone is welcome, weather permitting, I should think. I was going to attend, but unfortunately I'm going to be, as I said a moment ago, up in Scotland. But if you can get down there and you are local, it should be a bit of a hoot. And it's back to me. Hello. Now then, I'm just looking at my list. Indeed. I've got lots of stuff here, and I need to make sure it all kind of gels together. And now we are going to go. We're going to cross over with my almost magical cup. We're going to cross over to the kitchen of Cat and Sav, because they are going to show us some rather interesting mixology. Over to you, Cat, and over to you, Sav.
Thanks, Marco. Cat here. And Sav. And we thought we'd have a little look at, or at least Marco's asked us to have a little look at some of the ways we do things, because everybody does things differently, don't they?
They do.
And our speciality, for me, it's these. As you can see, that's some size bottle.
She doesn't do things by half.
And in case you can't read what's on the label, because you probably can't, Ethyl Maltol crystals. I use them a fair bit, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. And yours, Sam?
Yeah, my speciality is the menthol. Not always crystals, but crystals is the method that I'm going to look at.
Yeah, because you do combinations, don't you?
I do, it depends what I've got at the time.
Now, we've been at this. Do you realise it'll be 4 years in March?
Wow.
Scary, isn't it?
It is actually, yeah.
Because it doesn't seem like 2 minutes since we were sitting through there.
No.
With one little pink.
Pick 901s.
But that's another story.
Yeah.
If you're making your own, whatever you're making, you're going to be starting with a base liquid. In my case, this one's 52 milligram. Some people buy 72. I just stick with this.
Is that in a VG or PG mix?
This one is a PG. Because I have some funny reactions with VG, the NAS.
NAS. I must admit, I mean, I like it in VG, but I tend to always get my nicotine in PG, mainly because it's easier to get out the bottle.
Yeah. I prefer having it in PG for the reasons I gave before. Plus, I do use a little bit of VG in the mix, but I need to be certain I'm not overdone it.
Yeah, you're predominantly PG.
So I stick with VG. But if they haven't got that, with PG, if they haven't got that, I'll get a VG piece. You'll then have your propylene glycol, if you use it. You will then have, oh look it, it's smudged.
It's smudged, just a tad. The VG.
VG.
Glycerin.
This one isn't too bad, it's
Acrid.
still a bit gloopy.
Yes.
Do you like that word?
Oh, gloopy, I love the word gloopy.
Love the word gloopy.
There's some more gloopy than others. That one's quite workable.
That's right. And you can get your ethyl maltol in little bottles too.
More manageable size.
And then of course you've got your flavourings, which we're not really going to bother with.
No.
Start with a good guide. Is that for you?
Very lately.
The poet, what we're doing. Now I've just printed this one off the internet, and basically it's for a 20ml mix, or 20. It's a fire engine.
I hope it's not for me then.
It's a fire engine. You see? They say our videos are not exciting. Listen to that. This one gives you step-by-step details. There are lots of them out there on the net.
Some apps for your phone as well.
Yes, you can. You have to be careful with your flavourings, guys. Please be careful. On average, the rule is no more than 20% flavouring when you're doing these mixes. Some are stronger than others. I happen to know that Lisa's at Cloud9 are very concentrated, so you don't need as much if you're using Lisa's. Excellent flavourings, may I add.
Yep.
DB, around about the 20%. And really into that figure comes your ethyl maltol, and you would probably see the same with that. So what we're going to do is explain the process of how it can be done. Now I'm going to be honest here, and I'm sure you are.
Of course.
I don't even measure anymore.
Oh.
It's been 4 years I don't need to.
Do it by eye and taste these days.
When you're doing things, if you're new to all this, wear your gloves, get some latex gloves, they're cheap enough off the internet and you can still work with them quite well. If you get it on your hands, don't leave it there all day.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. It ain't going to kill you.
Latex gloves.
But it can be a bit hot.
It can, and you can end up nick overdosing if you vape and absorbing it through your skin.
One or the other, but not both.
Yeah, try not to do both. But yeah, sometimes if I'm working with Nick, I tend to just wear one latex glove. Don't know why.
One's enough.
One's all I've got really, so that's probably why.
I have a box full.
You have, yeah. It's for things that if you're handling stuff all the time, it just saves the risk.
Yeah. I tend to mix 30 ml at a time. So I'm talking about a heaped teaspoon of ethyl maltol. For 30 ml is quite safe. Like you see it going in there, and you can see it's like a sugary solution in there.
It smells divine.
That's a dry powder.
It smells like candy floss.
It's candy floss. All ethyl maltol is going to do is give it a pleasant aroma and a little bit of sweetness. That's all it's going to do. It's that smell of candy floss that you get at the fairground. And that's it. That's all it's going to do. Now, when I mix mine, I dissolve those crystals first. And I personally do it in PG. I'm not going to do it here. I'm showing you the method. Because at the end of the day, I've made videos regarding ethyl maltol, so I'm not going to repeat them. Once you've got your liquid in there, now I would recommend PG for this. Once you've got your PG in there, don't use your nicotine. Put it. You can either put it in a microwave, but you have to be careful. No more than 10 seconds depending on the volume you have. I'll put a little bit in. Then on, you've persuaded us. I bet you I'll never get this over. Good old fashioned way teeth. Well, I've still got them. The time for measuring can come when you're putting it in the bottle.
Yeah, because you're just making your mix and solution at this stage.
This is another way.
Bain-marie.
You've all heard of a bain-marie. Well, maybe you haven't. It took me a long time to hear it.
Just full of hot water.
You make sure that stays with boiling water, and then you keep mixing, because this is going to take a while. Once it's dissolved, that's the point you can bottle it, keep it, use it for mixing as and when you're ready, or just make it fresh each time. But leave it in there. That's the key. And that is all you need to do. Now, I'm not going to go any further with this one, because I think I've given you all the information you need. Make up your mix. 30, 60 ml, perfect amount. Then your second bottle is steeping, because all this steeping lark I don't really do.
I tend not to steep because I tend to mix as I go. Because I lose things.
Oh well. I knew I had them, and could I find them?
Size of them?
I've had to buy new ones, and then I found these yesterday. Tell you. So, any questions? You know where the Vaper Trails TV forum is. Get your questions on there.
Yep.
Okay. So now Sav's doing one next week, so I'll be questioning her for you. On that note, Marco, put that tea down. It's your turn. Yeah.
Oh, she caught me. Finishing my cup of tea off there. Thank you very much to Sav and Kat for that little bit of VT there about the Ethyl Maltol. It looks really nice, and I wish this was smelly tinterweb, because that sounds really nice. And I've done a little deal with Kat. I'm going to swap her some licorice flavouring for some Ethyl Maltol. And while I'm on the subject of additives, let's go to the Closey Epicam. There we go. Because here I have this stuff, which is Coolada, which I got from Powder Out of Vape a while ago. And this is menthol methyl lactate. That's its proper name. And this will add a bigger throat hit and a cooling sensation to your juices. Let's just go back to this shot. Hello. Yes, it's going to add a cooling effect and a bigger throat hit. And if you use it at a ratio of about 1 drop per milliliter of juice. So if we go to this slide, which you saw last week, and I'll just do that. Hello. So if you see here, we've got our there we go. We have our ingredients. So at the moment, to make our 10ml with 15% flavouring, 3.2 of ENIC, 5.3 of the VG, no water stroke vodka because you've already already diluted the VG down, and then 1.5 of flavourings because I'm making a 15% on this calculation. If we go to this slide, you will see that I've added here, Coolada at 0.5%, which equals 10 drops, which is 1 drop per mil. And all I've done is replaced some of the VG with some Coolada, and then we still get 10 mils at a strength of 24 with the extra cooling effect and the extra throat tip. So there you go. We'll go back to here. Hello. That was so difficult to sort out. I was all over the place in my green screen earlier on trying to set that shot up, but we got there in the end. Anywho, it is time. It's time looking at my other screen. It is time for the ads, and when we come back, we've got some more shenanigans. See you in 2.
iVaper and iVaper Elixir, based in Yorkshire, for your e-cig needs. iVaper.co.uk and iVaper-elixir.co.uk. iVaper and iVaper-elixir.co.uk, proud sponsors of VaporTrails.tv.
The GG. Because you want one.
And now back to Vaper Scene on Vaper Trails TV.
And we're back in the studio. Hello. Now, As many of you are going to know, there is the current issue in the European Parliament with the European Tobacco Products Directive 2012 revision, particularly clause 3, and a lot of us have been sending emails and letters and making phone calls to our various MPs and MEPs. I must look at my list here. I sent quite a lot of emails to my local MPs and MEPs, and so far I've had 3 replies. 4 actually, because my first letter I sent to one of my local MPs, he wasn't my local MP. I'm about 2 miles out of his constituency because of the way it's changed recently, but his aide did contact me and point me in the right direction, and I'm going to see the MP that I eventually found on the 22nd of February. I'm also waiting to set up an interview with an MEP called Godfrey Bloom, who's from UKIP, and just before the show went out, about 8 o'clock, I had another reply from another MEP, Rebecca Taylor, who's a Lib Dem MEP. But I hear you cry, why are you telling me this? Well, this is what we need to be doing. Have a look. Indeed, we must say no to clause 3, which is going to effectively limit the strength of our e-nic to about 4 milligrams, which, as we all know, is pretty much pointless. So unless we start action now, unless we start getting in touch with our MPs and MEPs who work for us, the voters, to put pressure on those people in the European Parliament to say, we don't want anything to do with clause 3, thank you very much. The rest of it, maybe, but clause 3 we don't like, we don't want it. And you can also go to theyworkforyou.com. That's another place where you can check out who your MEP is. Anyway, I have got a little bit of VT that I did a couple of weeks ago now, on my last trip up north. So have a little wee look. This week I have with me one of these, and this is an Argotee with a quite snazzy little drip tip that I got from Health Cabin this morning with some stuff that I ordered last week. I saw the Argotee on Liberty Flight's website a couple of weeks ago, and it was a decent price. It was about $17.99 I think. So I fired off a little message to Kat in our Metros TV Skype chat that we have, where we kind of group chat where we all talk, and I said, is it a good price, is it worth getting another one? So I didn't have any Genesis style Atties, apart from the RTA, which you can set up like that, but not one of the newer ones. And Kat said that she really liked hers and it was big, but certainly worth a go. So I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. Set it up with a stainless steel mesh Genesis style wick, and it's currently at about 1 ohm resistance, so it's really low. Got it on the Lambo 4.0 at 4 volts, and it's vaping really nicely.
bring out the flavour of this juice very nicely, and this juice is a chocolate praline. It's an XO juice that I got from Liberty Flight about 3 weeks ago, so it's really steeped nicely, and it's got a lovely nuttiness to it, but that's the last of it now, so no more. I need to put some more juice in later. But I have found that with this stainless steel mesh wick, and it goes all the way down to the bottom of the tank and then sticks out up into the centre part here. It's wicking lovely, and it's just sucking the juice, literally sucking it dry, not getting anything left in the bottom, working really well. So I'm quite impressed, and I'm liking the drip tip, and it's not something that I've seen style-wise on a UK site up to now, and I bought a few other things. It's not worth getting a drip tip in China. So I've also got an MVP, an iTaste MVP that arrived this morning. That's in my suitcase, and I'll be charging it up when I get to my hotel and having a fiddle with that, because I've liked to look at that for a while, since I saw Phil Posado with one when I did my interview with him last year, and also Cat and Sav, because they've got them and they really like them. So I thought I'd pick one up. It was a good price, I have to say, but then it always is when you buy from overseas. Not forgetting, of course, that you are liable for the duty, so you have to factor that in to the overall price. But I bought some other bits and pieces. Got some 5mm clearomisers. They're huge, absolutely huge, and I've got a little adapter that fits onto the top of them, so you can use a 510 drip tip instead of the Ego tip that it comes with it, and this drip tip fits on it really nicely. So I might show you one of those in the studio, because I haven't got them with me. I've just bought my clearomiser on my normal clearomiser on the spinner. This is obviously the one that I replaced, the one that I broke, and then of course I've got my Lambo 4.0, and then the iTaste came with a couple of the dual coil clearomisers, so I'll have a look at those as well. So that's it for this week. Back to me in the studio.
Indeed, back to me. And if I go to close the Epicam, you can see said adapter and drip tip. The adapters you can get over here. Vaper Scene are selling the adapters, and as soon as I find anyone who's selling these big clearomisers, I shall let you know, because they ain't too bad. Bit of gurgling now and again, but not too bad at all. But like I said, you can get these adapters from Vaper Scene, so you can use 510 drip tips in your or on your Egos. So there you go. I'm just looking to see if I had a message about who was on tomorrow night for VT Talk, and while Mr. Dawn sends me a little message, I will show you this.
And good evening, eventually. Took a little while to get things wound up and ready to go then, didn't it? But I'm here now, so welcome to Dave's Tackle Box on Sunday.
So there we go, I'm back in the room and not long to go now. So yeah, I was talking to my son, and he's watched me make things before.
And a very good evening to you. It is Tuesday the 20th of November 2012, and you have tuned into Vaper Scene.
At Vaper Trends TV tells us tonight being Wednesday night, it is time for the one and only chat show programme called VT Talk. is the Haze Hour.
Again.
Keith was just saying if it wasn't for the titles, he wouldn't come and do the show. He loves them so much, don't you?
Okay, I'm going to cut that last bit just short because I'm running rapidly out of time. Dave tells me that tomorrow night it is himself and Daz, and more than likely the woman that is Sav, and quite possibly Carl Phillips, but he's waiting confirmation for Carl if he's going to be on the show or not. But tune in tomorrow night at 9 o'clock and you will see Mr. D and Mr. J and, more than likely, the Queen of the Chat, Sav herself. Thursday, of course, it is the Haze Hour, and this is also obviously weather and interweb capability notwithstanding. And I'd like to just thank everyone for their patience for the past week or so, where we've had either weather issues or people driving into cabinets and knocking out internet for people. So thank you for your patience. We will always try to get a live show out to you no matter what. So that's tomorrow with Dave, Thursday with Dave, and it's Keith, I don't know, I'll have to check my chat in a second, but more than likely Keith. Sunday, hopefully Dave K is back with Dave's Tackle Box. Monday, Tin Your Tip, hopefully we'll be back. I'll be back next Tuesday, and until then, happy vaping, peace out.